And Sawyer, now we're through that kind of T-minus 20-minute mark. Of course, as you said, no T-minus 20-minute vent from Starship like we see from Falcon 9. But from now on, pretty much until 2 minutes to go, we're just going to sit back and not relax because we are full of adrenaline, but it's just propellant load from here on out.
Yeah, pretty much. At this point, it is a large vehicle, as we've talked about, and they have a lot of propellant to load, so it is loading it up at this point. But it is much faster than it used to be. I mean, we thought it was fast originally with the earlier versions where it was under an hour to load the vehicle. The fact that now it's under 40 minutes to load the vehicle is still something that boggles my mind, no matter how many times I mention it on stream or mention it at all. So, yeah, at this point we wait for the prop load, and there's not much else we can do, which that's the hardest part now is the waiting, as Tom Petty once said.
This camera is in the dunes, as you can tell, super wide lens, and we haven't cropped it on purpose. That is some protection in front of the camera to try and prevent anything going into the camera that shouldn't be there. I think you can fill in the gaps there as to why that camera has that extra shielding. Just like, you know, the ship has thermal shielding, our cameras have physical shielding. Kinetic shielding? I don't know. There we go. We have some experience with that. Moving on, 18 minutes, 15 seconds left to go. And again, the heart rate continues to rise. There's still a lot of birds flying around the area. The wildlife certainly are taking an interest as to what is happening right now. I'm not sure they'll be so interested when they light the engines and take off. They might quickly vacate the premises, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens there. Fingers crossed they don't get in the way of any of our camera views.
Yeah, and a reminder for that view, these are pretty zoomed in, so it's not like the bird is flying directly next to the rocket, like the rocket's going to fly into it. These birds are a lot farther away. Birds in camera are closer than they appear, or farther than they appear.
Thank you, Sawyer. I'm also just seeing now some confirmation. It looks like the brand newly sworn in Deputy Administrator of NASA, Matt Anderson, was on board one of the F5 jets we saw flying around, which was what we saw earlier on in the launch stream a couple of hours ago or so. So that was pretty cool. And he says, thanks for the flight, NASA Administrator Jared Isaacman. So I guess we have to assume that Jared Isaacman was piloting that jet. So that's a pretty exciting thing to see indeed. The Administrator and Deputy Administrator of NASA flying around the Starbase launch site a couple hours before launch was scheduled to take place. Welcome to the future, everybody. I'm very excited to see this future. I mean, Alice, this is the future we've all been waiting for. And, you know, NASA under the this current administration and Jared Isaacman, they want to kick it into another gear, it seems like.
Absolutely. Of course, Spaceship and SpaceX and Starship are going to play a huge part in the future of NASA. They are pivotal in the whole Artemis program. So there's a lot invested in this. People want to see this succeed. They need it to succeed for Artemis to move forward. So there's a lot hinging on today. And I know SpaceX were thinking that they would go at their own speed as much as they want to, and it's very much an R&D phase. If they failed, it wasn't the end of the world. Now they know that this is there's a lot more hinging on this. They have got the hopes of the whole space agency hinging on this launch. So there's a lot of people there that are going to be watching this, hoping and praying that this goes exactly to plan today.
And of course, Sawyer, often we talk about the quote-unquote space race between the United States and China. There's a commercial space race going on because this is one of the two potential lunar landers. The other is from Blue Origin. And, you know, some good old-fashioned billionaire competition between Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. That's also going to play... Do you think that's also going to play a big part in today's flight?
Well, I mean, this flight has to be successful for them to be able to proceed with the Human Landing Services program, which is basically NASA contracting out to Blue and to SpaceX to create the lunar lander itself. The crew will launch on Orion, as of now on SLS, and then rendezvous and dock with a lander vehicle. As of right now, the plan was originally that SpaceX Starship would do the first 2 lunar landings, and the third would be done by Blue Origin. But just last year, that was changed to whoever can get their vehicle done and ready first will be the one that NASA selects to land on the moon with. So getting this done and getting ready for a 2027 Earth test flight with it and being that first one on the surface of the moon is, I think, very much on the forefront of SpaceX's mind.
And I'm also now hearing we have confirmation from SpaceX on that new booster profile with the engines. It will be 5 engines through the hot staging sequence and then 33 engines for the boost back burn. And that is going to be absolutely nuts, because the previous generation of booster, it was 3 Raptors staying on for hot staging and 13 Raptors running for the boost back burn. They are tripling the amount of thrust they are running for that boost back burn. If you thought that Starship was going to be cooking it, headed uphill with a max Q 45 seconds after launch, I mean, Godspeed Booster 19. The G-forces that thing is going to be pulling when it's firing with 33 Raptors with no ship on top, headed back to the launch site. Of course, it's not coming to the launch site this time around, but coming back to the Gulf just off the coast of the launch site. I mean, that is going to be bonkers.
Breathtaking.
And with less
Breathtaking.
propellant. With less propellant on board, too. It's going to be even lighter.
That's going to be like thrust to weight ratio 1,000,000. I don't know. That's like, you know, in KSP when you turn on cheats and you just turn up the maximum thrust of the engine and you just, you know, blast your way into orbit in 5 seconds. I mean, this is just going to be... Okay. I guess we're all about to find out what's going to happen because, well, in 13 minutes time, fingers crossed, these engines will light and we'll be headed to space with Starship 39 and Booster 19. And then, of course, that boost back and landing happening over the following 6 minutes. That's going to be interesting. One way to find out. I suppose you have to stay tuned.
Less than 13 minutes to go to find out.
Indeed. Has there been anything else catching your ear or catching your eye, Alex?
Other than everything looking good, range is clear, weather looks amazing, vehicle and pad look healthy from all that they have seen. Of course, some things might always pop up, as we saw yesterday. Everything looked good in principle, but then as they went through that T-40 gate, things started to act up on the pad, as we saw, right? That's sometimes a bunch of things that are a little bit more out of their control. But other than that, we are counting down. We're still tracking that opening of the window at 5:30 p.m. Central in about 12 minutes from now.
Under 12 minutes now as we continue to progress towards launch. Good fueling on both the ship and booster so far. Of course, that is going to be continuing over the next few minutes here, over the next 9 minutes or so. Of course, they get as close to launch as possible with that propellant load, but they do have to shut off at some point before launch so they can clear out all of the ground equipment and all of the lines running, you know, that are buried within the concrete bunker. When that happens. Looking on from, I believe this is from our river site. Of course, we've got plenty of cameras tracked on Starship right now, and if we have any views we can't bring to you on the live stream, we will have the replays afterwards as well. So even if you see Starship launch and everything goes brilliantly, don't go anywhere, because we will have post-flight analysis and those replays to come from every single camera we have deployed at Starbase, and there are many of them. Trust me, there are many deployed all around Starbase. I'm sure DYs will be bringing us some of their trademark slow-mo as well after the launch. Fingers crossed everything progresses smoothly over the next 10 minutes and 20 seconds. Again, deep breaths as the heart rate continues to rise as we prepare for Starship's 12th flight. Alex, that venting is just, again, it catches me off guard every time. The new vents from the tank farm are just humongous.
Yeah, they shoot up. That's the new box fan vent. It's this fan that is enclosed in this box, right? And they have different vents from different parts of the tank farm coming together in that area, and then that fan shoots off that venting up, and so it then gets distributed by the wind. You can see that, you can tell where the wind is going by the way that this thing is sort of being pushed to. It's funny, but you know, at least we have other views which we can use to track this progress as we count down here to launch in under 9.5 minutes.
Absolutely. Chat, I know Das has already done this earlier in the stream, but I'm going to do it again because there are just a few more of you watching now than there were 3 hours ago. So I'm going to ask you, where you all watching from? It's so amazing to see, you know, all of the countries of the world, it feels like, show up in chat when we have a big event like this, because the world is truly watching. You know, the world is watching South Texas this afternoon / evening / morning, wherever you happen to be watching from on planet Earth. Okay, chat is going quite quickly. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. The moderators might not be too happy with me.
I'm trying to keep up with them. I've seen a New Mexico in there. That's my home state, and lots of UKs in there as well. It's great to see lots of people staying up late over in Europe watching this, and Norway I've seen, and all over the US. It's incredible, isn't it, how many people are tuning in for this? We're currently up to about 95,000 people watching our stream and getting ready for this launch.
Saw some Space Coast in there too. Yep.
Space Coast represent. I'm seeing Ireland, Greece, Sydney, Denmark. Okay, it's going. I've completely lost it. It's going too fast once again. Thank you, chat. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in as we are approaching 8 minutes to go until launch. Again, the deep breaths. The deep breaths, they do help. I'm going to convince myself that they help with lowering the heart rate as we progress towards launch.
Everybody remember to breathe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I will say my heart rate is much higher than it was at this point yesterday. I don't know. Yesterday felt iffy. Today it feels more real.
I agree. There was something yesterday that just, when I joined you all, because we'd had an hour delay by that point, I think I felt like, it wasn't going to happen. I don't know. There was just something in the back of my mind that felt like it was definitely off. But today, I keep feeling my neck. I'm like, my heart is pounding through my neck right now. You were asking me yesterday, Ryan, whether or not I wore one of those watches to keep an eye on it. I'm like, no, I just need to. I know, because my neck's definitely going crazy. Wow, it's close. We're just over 7 minutes away.
Yeah, it's really cool, and it's well, this is more cool than the anticipation for watching. But there's the reason we get there's so much anticipation. It's because we're so excited to see this thing fly, and finally, it could become real. You know, all of the dreams and hopes of the SpaceX engineers who have been working on this version of Starship for so long. Fingers crossed, those dreams will be delivered upon in 6 minutes and 48 seconds from now.
Even since then,
It looks like Jared Isaacman is
all the
at
housing
SpaceX.
that's coming in here, and of course, you got 2 orbital launch pads out there and a rocket that's just looking fantastic, especially from the air. It's good.
Yeah, you said you got a new job. It's been a slow start to your first 6 months. I mean, you only sent humans around the moon for the first time since the Apollo days. Bill and I kind of nerded out a little bit. Like, that was the last thing I worked on when I was at NASA, so seeing them go was just insane. Like, how's everybody feeling after the success of Artemis 2?
Well, I'd say I have the best job in the world, and I certainly work with an unbelievable team. I mean, as you know, that mission was a long time in the making, so I got to show up at the right time to see everybody put all that effort to put it in action. But what a great mission. Those 4 astronauts, you couldn't have had better ambassadors for humankind to the stars. I mean, they really brought us all along for 10 days, and we're getting ready for what comes next. We're going to start stacking Artemis 3. We got a lot of the hardware in the VAB already. We're hoping to even get out to the pad before the end of the year, do another wet dress. So,
Right.
And we're looking forward to seeing this thing fly, because hopefully at some point in the not too distant future, we're gonna join up in Earth orbit.
Yeah, I mean, what's coming up next, and ultimately, like, based on the moon, that's the big focus. Like, what's kind of the why? Like, why are we doing this for everybody?
Oh, well, I mean, and yes, we're certainly trying to get back to the moon, but what's coming up next? We're also building a moon base in parallel. And why are we doing that? Well, it's for a lot of the shirts I see around here, which is Occupy Mars. I mean, what a great opportunity. Go to the moon, return to the moon, build a moon base on the South Pole, interact with the water ice, right? Maybe work on some of those skills we're going to need when we're 4 days away from home for what we might need someday when we're 9 months away from home. But we got other things coming up too. You got Nancy Grace Roman. That telescope's going to launch later this summer. There's a lot of great, exciting things going on at NASA right now.
Yeah, man. All right. Well, SpaceX, we're custom built to try and make life multiplanetary. We're super honored, excited to be part of this entire Artemis program. Really excited to see Starship, you know, sending people to the moon, all of the different pieces working together. It's going to be a really exciting future.
Oh, absolutely. Well, thanks for having me here. It's great to see everybody. Again, I know a lot of hard work leads up to a moment like this, so we're all rooting for you, and we're looking forward to meeting up next year in Earth orbit.
All right, man. Well, I'll let you jump back in there. We got about
Thank
4
you.
minutes to go. Just toss it back down to Kate and Jake.
I'm not Kate, nor am I Jake, but we will continue tracking as we head towards launch. Alex, we are now 4.25 minutes from T0. What are some of the things we need to be keeping an eye out for as we progress to the very pointy end of the countdown?
Yeah, we're basically just about a minute or so until the booster propellant load is complete. Then a minute later will be ship propellant load complete. Very similar, as we said before, to the Falcon 9 end of propellant load sequence, where it's like first the booster, then the second stage. So similarly here, of course, the second stage we call it ship because it's a bit more fancy and less like the Falcon 9 second stage, but it's still a second stage after all. It doesn't really change that much, but yeah, we should be about 40 seconds actually for the booster propellant load complete part of the sequence here, and then about 40 seconds after that it'll be the ship propellant load complete sequence of the countdown. But yeah, everything's still looking good, so hopefully we go through all that T-minus 40-second point.
Indeed. Alice, do you have any final kind of thoughts on what we will, fingers crossed, see in 3 minutes from now?
Light this candle. I feel like this is going to happen. I don't know what it is about today, but today feels definitely far more exciting, far more ready for it. I feel like this is going to breeze through, and yesterday's going to be a distant memory. They're going to do it, and things are going to go to plan. I've got a very positive feeling about this.
Same question to you, Sawyer. What's going through your mind right now?
They're going to do it. It's SpaceX. They're actually going to do it this time. We'll see if they hold at T-minus 40 seconds again. They have the option to, as a reminder. They don't have to, but they can.
Hemoroidy bolą, pieką, wracają? Weź Proctosedon, który leczy te objawy hemoroidów i zapobiega wtórnym zakażeniom. To jest lek. Dla bezpieczeństwa stosuj go zgodnie z ulotką dołączoną do opakowania i tylko wtedy, gdy jest to konieczne. W przypadku wątpliwości skonsultuj się z lekarzem lub farmaceutą.
Almost full on ship, almost full on booster. That is great news indeed. I have to say, I hope SpaceX will be go for launch. I know everybody here is go for launch. Chat, are you go for launch? We need to know if you guys are go for launch, because if chat isn't go for launch, then I don't know, maybe someone needs to phone up SpaceX and let them know that chat needs a minute to get ready. Okay, no, chat's ready. Chat's very ready. Chat, yes, lots of goes in chat right now. Everybody is very, very excited to see this thing fly. And yeah, we are excited with you. We are 1 minute and 40 seconds away from Starship Flight 12.
Ship propellant load complete by the looks of that. Seems like the purges on the launch mount are underway. They're currently doing gimbal checks on the booster engines. There we can see
And we can see that.
That's the steering.
There they are, dancing.
The inner 13 steering there.
Yeah.
Those are those gimbaling Raptors. Of course, the outer engines do not swivel, only the inner ones do, because they have, as you can see there, very helpful from this launch mount camera, they have that extra clearance there as we approach 60 seconds until launch. As a reminder, SpaceX has a gate at 40 seconds. If they need to hold, they can. But fingers crossed they have resolved the problems and they are able to push straight through that gate, which will be coming up in a few seconds' time. Of course, if they do have to hold, there'll be a little bit of a delay before we hear that. But fingers crossed, everything is good to go for launch in 45 seconds from now.
Had a good feeling about that.
Let's see, are we continuing to push through?
Has hold.
And we have a hold.
Should say, yeah. Once again, waiting for the pushbacks, so it might be reset really quickly here. Just like yesterday, remember? I heard the vent and the clock is rolling.
There we go. Clock is running for launch. Stand by for the detonation suppression system.
Launch.
That's what we want to hear. SpaceX are go for launch. We're going to stand by for the deluge. That'll be a really obvious thing. And then, of course, that ignition and top deck going off. Starship V3 might be about to fly. There's the weir vent. There comes the deluge. Let's look. There's the top deck. We should be seeing ignition. There's ignition. And I believe we have liftoff of Starship version 3. 30 seconds, max Q. 20 seconds, max Q. 10 seconds, max Q. Starship version 3 is airborne, and we are headed to space under the power of 33 Raptor 3 engines. We are pushing through max Q. Oh my goodness, this is the period of maximum force on the vehicle when the thrust meets the thicker parts of the atmosphere. But there we go, we're pushing through, and it looks like we're getting a little bit of a vapor cone even forming there as the trail falls away from Starship. This is a spectacular ascent of Starship version 3. That looks like a flawless liftoff, passing the moon in the background.
That was so cool.
We will be going there eventually with Starship, but for now it's a suborbital test flight, the future destination in the background. For now, the destination is the Indian Ocean, and Starship continues to progress downrange. We are passing through 23 kilometers in altitude, and we have healthy Raptor 3 engines on booster 19. We're a few seconds away from main engine cutoff.
One engine off on the outer ring of 20.
Okay, we've lost one Raptor 3. 20 seconds.
32 of 33.
Yep, looks like now they're rolling for preparation for hot staging.
That's still the vast majority of engines. We'll have to see how many of those can relight for the boost back burn of booster 19. But for now, ship 39 and booster 19 doing a spectacular job. Let's stand by for stage separation.
Hopefully we see that hot staging.
There is ship engine ignition. And we have stage separation. What a quick flip! The booster is already facing the opposite direction. That was an expedited flip and a half. Oh, maybe the booster is losing a little bit control, or can it correct? Yeah. Looks like a little bit maybe of an over-energetic spin from the booster. Looks like it can correct. It looks like it has the authority to correct.
It's only
seeing a little bit of a flash from the aft. Oh dear, only 5 engines.
Yeah.
30 seconds.
Were those the 5
all 6 engines on the ship, though.
Good news from the ship, but that looked like a little bit of a wonky boost back burn from the booster. 30 seconds boost back shutdown.
It's a yeah, it aborted the boost back burn.
Okay. Again, today is a test flight.
One Raptor vacuum is off on the ship.
We lost a Raptor vacuum. Okay, we are currently running on 2 vacuum Raptors and those 3 sea level Raptors. And you can see there, I believe, on the left-hand side, that is the booster losing control. And you can see there from the ground, this is the Super Heavy Booster 19 with an aborted boost back burn. That will fall down. I think that's the ship in the background. You can see the booster falling back down to the Gulf below. And the ship is burning in the background on 5 Raptor engines, 2 vacuums, 3 sea levels. One of the vacuums has shut down early, but the other 5, Alex, they seem to be continue firing. Yes. Do you think they could get on their trajectory with a subset of engines?
They mentioned that they have engine out capability, so the ship will just be burning a little bit longer, basically, to compensate. Yeah, one of the Raptor vacuum engines went out. It has the sea level still running, so those can compensate both on the gimbaling for attitude control, and also the fact that they can run for longer with those 3 engines, plus the other 2 Raptor vacuum engines. Still accelerating, speed still going up on the ship. The booster is stumbling a little bit as it comes back through.
We are watching the booster from the off-board tracking views. We are watching it from the ground. So a little bit of a wonky boost back burn, an aborted boost back burn from booster 19, and it is now tumbling and falling back down towards the Gulf. Again, we were not expecting to recover this booster at all on this flight. SpaceX were hoping for a good boost back and a splashdown in the Gulf. Looks like it's going to be a bit more of an energetic splashdown than they perhaps were initially expecting, but that was a very, very quick flip from the booster. I mean, that was absolutely bonkers to see live on screen in front of us. In the meantime, Ship 39 continuing to burn towards space. It has lost a Raptor vacuum engine, but as Alex said, they have Raptor out capabilities. They are continuing to burn. The other 5 Raptors seem to be continuing as normal, and the ship is continuing to pick up speed as we push towards 9,000 kilometers per hour. So fingers crossed, Ship 39 can make it, even on a reduced subset of engines, because of course they only need the 3 sea levels when it comes to do their Raptor relight demonstration, which they could cancel if they need to, and their splashdown burn for landing in the Indian Ocean. So stay fingers crossed for the ship. And we can see there now, Alex, the booster picking up speed.
Look at that entry. Wow.
Yeah. This is toasty.
Yeah,
this is...
Oh yeah. The roll's picking up a bit, it looks like, too. We'll see if they end up actually trying for the landing burn for the booster there.
I think we might be going a little bit too quickly at this point. We are now going through 7 kilometers.
Yeah.
It's literally horizontal. We are going to be on board with the booster until the very end, I think, as we pass through the clouds on board booster 19. Look.
Testing at least the grid fins. Oh,
yeah,
it's
a
relighting
vapor
the
cone.
engines?
We've got an
There
ignition.
it is.
They're going for a landing burn.
10 seconds, landing burn starts.
It was an aborted boost back burn, but they're going for a landing burn.
Oh,
the booster has ignited. Frozen cameras.
There we go.
That's
Looks
the
like
end
an
of the
impact
booster.
in the ocean.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, we go back to space, back on board Ship 39, passing through 12,000 kilometers per hour in speed through 6.5 minutes into flight, and 5 Raptors continuing to burn. We have lost one of those Raptor vacuums, but the other 5 engines continue to burn. So fingers crossed, should this continue in this configuration, Ship, with its authority of the 3 gimbaling Raptor engines, should be able to make it onto that trajectory. And that was a very spicy booster flight indeed. Okay, we're getting the gadgets now to show us the exact orientation of the ship. It looks stable, Alex. It looks stable.
It does. It lost that RVAC engine, but again, it's got engine out capability. So the rest of the engines, the 5 remaining engines, will just burn for a little longer. I would expect the other 2 RVAC engines to shut down as planned closer to that final shutdown. If you remember, they used to shut down the engines first at the RVACs and then the center engines.
Yep.
Oh,
and by the way,
on board in the engine bay coming up, there it is.
Wow, look at
Something's glowing.
By the way,
I'm not sure.
The timeline you see on the bottom, obviously it's a little off because it had the super landing booster later, so it may be still burning when the bottom thing says Seco.
Exactly. Don't be surprised if those are a little off. But as you can see there, those are 3 sea-level Raptor plumes and are glowing in the aft bay of Ship 39 indeed. But at least the engine is still there. It doesn't look like the engine exploded or caused any debris. It's still there, intact. Maybe just a premature shutdown, so maybe a sensor or something. We'll have to wait and see what SpaceX says when they do their data reviews. But for now, Ship 39 continuing to burn. Again, don't be surprised when we push through this Seco mark. Initially, this was expected with 6 engines. We have lost one of those engines with only 5 burning right now.
Can we just appreciate this gorgeous view right now? I mean, look at that camera angle. Is that not just absolutely stunning?
The sunset views are beautiful. I love these evening launches. And it looks like the Raptors do continue. Yep, they're continuing to burn. I can see the plume there. They're continuing to burn. Extended burn from Ship 39 as it has that engine out capability.
Speed's still
it's
going
doing
up.
the little dog leg. Remember that we talked about this?
Yes.
You can see it on the bottom right, on the attitude
It's flying
control.
this new trajectory between Mexico and Cuba, and to do that, it has this little bit of a dog leg to get around.
Czasem wystarczy jedno miejsce, by połączyć zupełnie różnych ludzi. Każdy z inną historią i innymi potrzebami, ale wszystkich.
There we go. RVAC engines are off, and Seco. There it goes.
We have Seco, proper Seco, of 5 Raptor engines. Alex, let me know if you hear nominal insertion
I will.
from SpaceX.
Seeing if we can get an update on the ship orbit insertion, but we
There it
have shut
goes.
down again. We did run longer as we were engine out. We were flying with 5 of those 6 Raptors pretty much the whole time.
The voice of Dan Hewitt, SpaceX
Ship
Communications.
FPS is saved.
There we go. Flight termination system is off, so it's now disabled.
I think they're happy.
Wonder if that's
SpaceX
an indication of
is-
how the
We
ship
definitely
did.
got a ship in space right now.
SpaceXers are very happy. We do have a Starship in space. But are we on the nominal trajectory? That is the key.
Now let's see if it holds attitude.
We're
the
powering
flaps
it with
moving.
a positivity.
The flaps are moving. There you go.
As you can see, the teams are incredibly excited to see Starship there in space. We are awaiting the call out of nominal insertion. So we're going to stand by for that. We can see the flaps moving here, actuating. But wow, the cheers here in the lobby are certainly almost as loud as liftoff was.
Yeah.
Can we just say to the negative Nancys in the chat, this is impressive,
Wow.
guys. This is impressive.
Considering this
Space
is the first ever flight of this version of Starship, this has gotten so much further than the first flight of V2 did and the first flight of V1. So this is progress, and this is what we want to see. Not 100% perfect, but it's great progress nonetheless. And we will still wait for that confirmation from SpaceX there in that nominal trajectory headed towards the Indian Ocean. We usually would have heard that by now, so we'll stand by to see if we get that call or if they're in a slightly off nominal trajectory.
I'm interested on that vent there. I wonder if that's a proper thruster that they're firing of depressing the payload
As a
bay.
reminder, the
But I was gonna
objective
say,
for-
sorry. I have like different feeds in my ear right now. I was gonna mention I was surprised by the booster. It lit all 33 engines at once. It did the liftoff. It only lost 1 engine on the way up, which is already way more than flight 1 in that sense, right? So yeah.
And it used to be that they had 3 engine out at least capability on version 1. And with the power
Yeah.
of the Raptor V3s, I wouldn't be surprised if they could have more engines out if needed and still be okay on the booster portion of flight.
Yeah.
I'm loving all the people calling out flat earthers. Yes, you can see the curvature right there. You're right.
Also, it looks like the ship is kind of rotating up right now. Like its orientation to where it is in relation to the Earth looks a little bit different. Again, that could be that either venting or thruster that you were talking about there, Alex.
Yeah, I was going to ask the same thing. Is that what we were expecting for it to be tipped up that much?
It might be the sort of reorientation for the separation of the satellites. They are basically probably orienting the ship for that. We saw this on the previous flights where they had their on flights 10 and 11 where they deployed those Starlink simulators, and so we are now seeing them getting prepared for that. Of course, was one of the things is that everything needs to be good for that separation, for that deployment, and so we'll stand by and see if that happens. We saw that, for example, on flight 9, they reached space, they reached the coast phase and everything, but the ship was not ready for that kind of thing, so they aborted that deployment sequence. So we'll see what happens.
So, I mean, look at this. This is amazing. By the way, we have breaking news. With these ships successfully in space, we have a new design here. This is the Flight 12 architecture. So everything that we've seen new with this flight so far on a tumbler. So that way you can keep your drinks warm and keep your thermal protection system warm too. This is a brand new design by Jacques, the same person that designed our patch there. Beautiful design. So yeah, you see you've got the new pad, you've got the new boosters, you've got the upgraded Raptor 3s, all of that in that design. And again, it'll keep your drinks either super cold or super warm. I use a very similar one that we have from the shop all the time when I'm out in the field for launches. So if you want to cheers and toast to a not so toasty right now ship, you can check that out at shop.nasaspaceflight.com. Also available, you can see there in the shirt with everything new, with the booster upgrades, Pad Zero, and those upgraded engines. This
Oh,
is
you're
so
mentioning
cool.
It is very cool. I really like that. I'm going to have to get one of those for my collection. We are coming up to that point now where we're looking to possibly see the payload deployment. We're expecting 20 Starlink simulators to be released on this flight. We're coming up to around that 17-minute mark is when we're expecting it to possibly start. It might be a little bit delayed given that they've had to go a little bit longer with the burn. Are we expecting that to possibly shift things around a little bit, do you think, perhaps, Alex?
We'll see. It seems like they might be reorienting. We see there on the attitude. Like, yes, the ship is moving around, but it's not the tumbling that we saw on Ship 35, for example, back on Flight 9. So let's see what happens.
Ooh, the
Might
Terminator
be getting
line.
an update from Dan Hewitt from SpaceX.
While I do that, I do want to point out that I'm seeing in the back channel, we had questions earlier of will the Gateway to Mars sign survive? The Gateway to Mars sign now says Gatway. It is indeed missing some
I
letters.
should have put some money on it. I called it yesterday. I said it wasn't going to fully survive. Gateway to Mars. You never know.
I guess half the letters survived on that at least, so there's that. But most importantly is the ship currently surviving, as you see there
Woo!
on the screen.
I saw one of the thrusters. See there, the blue thing coming out from the side. That's actually a thruster, I think.
Oh, that.
Yeah, those two little holes on the left.
Oh, we've got a bit of freeze.
Yeah.
And it started again.
So, to explain a little bit further, the reason why they did not call nominal orbital insertion is because of that extended burn uphill. They did their own simulations and things like that. It's a good orbit. It's a good trajectory, not the nominal one. So that's why they did not call it. It's good enough. They're going to be seeing, they're probably going to skip the Raptor relight test that they were planning for this based on the engine performance numbers and the data that they have for that. So that is probably going to happen there. I'm not sure if we're going to be eventually going into that payload deploy, but we'll see if that happens as well. And I guess we have a little surprise here at NSF on our coverage.
We've got a very special guest joining us right now. Big welcome to you, Robin. Thank you so much for coming up and talking to us. I'm particularly very excited to talk to you. Would you like to first introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your background?
Sure, absolutely. My name is Robin Ringett, and I am the president of Astroforge. I have been in large liquid rocket engines and aerospace in general for more than 3 decades now. Originally at Rocketdyne and then at SpaceX during the early years, and subsequently Virgin Orbit, and now at Astroforge.
I've got to ask you, somebody who's been involved since the Vulcan 1 engine, what emotions do you feel when you're seeing a launch like this today?
Oh, it's so exciting. My heart gets pumping every time I see a rocket launch, and Starship is obviously the biggest of...
Poczuj adrenalinę! Nie z tej ziemi! Usłysz dźwięk, jak z innego wymiaru. Lub magię premiery.
What does this vehicle mean for you for the future?
Well, obviously, Starship brings a whole new era for low-cost access to space. Its lift capacity is just ginormous. It's unlike anything that's come before it. But beyond just heavy lift capability, its reusability also brings a level of affording time.
Absolutely. Now, obviously, Astroforge are looking to perhaps utilize resources in space. What other industries do you think a vehicle like Spaceship's going to open up to other commercial industries?
Oh, we are...
when we first...
May I interject for a second here? It seems like we are about to see that payload deployment happen right there.
That's
Thank you for keeping us honest,
Probably
Alex.
very important for you guys at Astroforge to go through this.
And a reminder, we
Continue.
are expecting to see about 20 simulated Starlink simulators that are going to possibly deploy today. Two of them being those Dodger dogs, which we've been laughing about over the last couple of days, named after those LA Dodger hot dogs that are a little bit longer.
This is a view from the flaps of it.
Pew.
We go.
And out they go. Robin, how excited are you that you can see all of this happening as we see this massive rocket just deploying these satellites?
Two
You guys
down,
have
20
anything
to
in
go.
mind to deploy something from the piss dispenser?
I mean, obviously, as part of this this entire mission, being able to get to see these live images and tremendously high quality. I mean, this is part of what low-cost access to space has done for us. It allows people to innovate. It allows companies to get smarter and get more shots on goals, to try different technologies and different approaches. Obviously, this all comes through Starlink, which SpaceX put up, right? I mean, they're their own biggest customer when it comes to these. And in the not too distant future, Starship is going to be able to launch an entire constellation of Starlink satellites in one go, which is just mind-boggling to even think about.
Absolutely. We were asking before we started to see this deployment, the kind of industries that we think this is going to open us up to. And I obviously would love to learn a little bit more about what you